Welcome to Knowledge Ahead. In this video, we know about 9 biggest historical mysteries that will probably never be solved. There are some historical mysteries that can never be solved. Occasionally, it really is because the applicable excavated material has been misplaced or an archaeological website has been destroyed. Other times, it's due to the fact new proof is not going to return ahead, or the surviving evidence is simply too indistinct to steer people to a consensus. The lack of answers most effective make those enigmas extra exciting. Right here, Knowledge Ahead takes up study 9 of those ancient questions that can never have definitive reasons. 1. Where is Cleopatra's tomb? Historical writers claim that Cleopatra and her lover Mark Antony have been buried together in a tomb after their deaths in 30 BC. The writer Plutarch, AD 45-120, wrote that the temple turned into position close to a temple of Isis, an Egyptian goddess, and changed into lofty and delightful monument containing treasures products of gold, silver, emeralds, pearls, ebony, and ivory. The area of tomb remains a mystery. In 2010, Jai Hawass, Egypt's former antiquities minister, conducted exhibitions at a domain near Alexandria, now known as Topos Iris Magna, which includes some of tomb's relation to the generation when Cleopatra ruled Egypt. At the same time as many exciting archaeological discoveries were made, Cleopatra's tomb became not among them, was reported in a chain of news releases. Archaeologists have stated that although Cleopatra's tomb does survive at the moment, it may be closely plumbed and unidentifiable. 2. Who was Jack the Ripper? In 1888, Jack the Ripper killed at the least 5 women in London, mutilating their bodies. A number of letters, supposedly from the Ripper, had been sent to police taunting officers. Efforts to find the Ripper, whether or not any of them have been truly written by using the Ripper, is a matter of dialogue among people. The name Jack the Ripper comes from those letters. Pointless to mention, the Ripper turned into by no means observed, and through the years, dozens of people were brought up as viable candidates. A latest ebook suggests that a lady named Lacey Williams turned into the Ripper, even though different Reaper professional cast doubt on it. It seems not going that the authentic identity of the Reaper will ever be recognized for sure. 3. Where is Jimmy Hoffa? The Teamster Union leader known as for his involvement in prepared crime disappeared in Auckland City, Michigan on July 30, 1975, and is now presumed to be unless. The identification of his killer and the vicinity of his body are ongoing mystery. Police and forensic anthropologists have searched a number of cities in Detroit and Oakland County to no avail. One famous concept was that Hoffa's body became buried beneath Giant Stadium in New Jersey. But this concept has been debunked. The identity of his killer is also unclear. Before his death in 2006, Richard the Iceman Kuklinski, a success man, claimed to have killed Hoffa and dumped his body in a scrap yard. And another named Philip Carlo visited Kuklinski in prison earlier than he died and wrote a ebook on Kuklinski's confessions. After the ebook got here out, a number of law enforcement officials sold doubt on the confession in media interviews. Because the years move via, it seems more and more not going that Hoffa's remains will ever be discovered. 4. Is there a money pit on Oak Island? For more than two cities, testimonies have calculated that Oak Island, located off Nova Scotia, Canada, held a cash pit on buried treasure, supposedly left with the aid of the pirate captain William Kidd, 1645 to 1701. Over that time, numerous expeditions costing tens of millions of bucks have traveled to the island, looking for the misplaced treasures. To no avail. Despite countries of looking on treasure has been found on Oak Island. However, that does not forestall humans from attempting to find it. A History Channel show called The Curse of Oak Island follows a modern-day expedition. The show became just renewed for the fourth season in 2016. 5. Who killed JFK? This is probably the most important mystery of American history, so that it will in no way be resolved to all of US satisfaction. On November 22, 1963, President John F. Kennedy became shot in Dallas through Lee Harvey Oswald. Although a few speculate that he wasn't the simplest one shooting. On November 24, 1963, earlier than Oswald ought to stand trial, Oswald became mortally shot by means of nightclub owner Jack Ruby. Ruby died of lung cancer on January 3, 1967. The maximum extensively typical rationalization is that Oswald killed JFK on his very own and Ruby killed Oswald on his personal volition. Ruby's stark motivation changed into to spare Jacqueline Kennedy, the discomfiture of Oswald coming in return to trial. But there are nevertheless a big number of expert historians, together with many amateurs, who do not trust this explanation and in view that JFK's dying several opportunity causes had been delivered ahead via historians and amateurs. Given that sizable new evidence is not likely to seem a company consensus will in all likelihood in no way be reached. 6. Were the Hanging Gardens of Babylon real? Historic writers describe an extremely good series of gardens construct at the historic metropolis of Babylon, modern-day Iraq. It's not clear when this garden had been built, but some historical writers have been so inspired through the gardens that they referred to as them a marvel of the world. Round 215 BC, Philo of Byzantium wrote that the Starking Gardens had plant life cultivated at a top above garden estate, and the roots of the trees are embedded in a top terrace instead of within the earth. So far, archaeologists who have excavated Babylon had been unable to find the stage of a garden that meets the description. This has left archaeologists with a query. Did the Hanging Garden really exist? In 2013, Stephen Daly, a researcher on the College of Oxford, proposed in an e-book that the gardens were clearly positioned at the Assyrian city of Nineveh. Over the past 2 decades, each Babylon and Nineveh have suffered damage from wars and looting, and it appears unlikely that this thriller will ever be absolutely solved. 7. What's the fate of the Ark of the Covenant? In 587 BC, a Babylon military under King Nebuchadnezzar II conquered Jerusalem, saking the city and destroying the primary temple, a building used by the Jewish human to worship God. The primary temple contained the Ark of the Covenant, which carried pills recording the Ten Commandments. The destiny of the Ark is unclear. Historical resources indicate that the Ark was either carried lower back to Babylonia, hidden earlier than the metropolis became captured. It is also viable that the Ark turned into destroyed at some stage in the city's seeking. In any occasion, the Ark's reason is unknown. For the reason that disappearance, some of the testimonies and legend about the Ark's destiny had been mistaken. One story suggests the Ark subsequently made its way to Ethiopia, wherein its miles kept these days. Every other tale says the Ark turned into divinely hidden and could no longer seem till a Messiah arrives. 8. Is the copper scroll treasure real? Another treasure story, so that it will probably by no means be solved, is extra insane. In 1952, a copper scroll was discovered by means of archaeologists in a cave, along with other Dead Sea Scrolls, at the website of Qumran. As its name shows, the written was engraved into a copper scroll. The scroll statistics a great amount of hidden gold and silver treasure. So much, in truth, that some scholars trust that it's far not possible for it to exist. The scroll dates return greater than 1900 years to a long time when the Roman Empire managed the Qumran location. There had been a number of revolts against Roman rule at the time the scroll became written, and scientists have hypothesized that the treasure became hidden to prevent its seizure by using Roman forces. Whether or not the treasure is actual, wherein precisely it became hidden, whether or not it changed into ever found, and whether or not it can nevertheless exist nowadays are all mysteries as a way to probably never be solved. 9. Is there a city of Atlantis? Writing in the 4th century BC, the Greek philosopher Plato advised a tale of a land named Atlantis that exists inside the Atlantic Ocean and supposedly conquered tons of Europe and Africa in prehistoric times. Inside the tale, the prehistoric Athenians strike again in opposition to Atlantis, in a conflict that ends with Atlantis vanishing beneath the wave. Even as no critically people believes that this tale is literally actual. A few have speculated that the legend might have been stimulated, in part, by means of actual occasions that befell in Greek records. One opportunity is that the Minoan civilization, as it's now known as, which flourished on the island of Crete until approximately 1400 BCE, should have inspired the story of Atlantis, even though Crete is inside the Mediterranean and now not the Atlantic. Minoan settlement suffered full-size damage during the eruption of Thera, a volcano in Greece. Moreover, archaeologists discovered that the Minoans have been sooner or later conquered or forced to enroll in with a set of human beings referred to as the Mycenaeans, who were based on mainland Greece. It's not likely that this debate will ever be completely settled. Thank you for watching. Also like, comment, share, subscribe. Or what do you want to do? Just do it. And stay with Knowledge Ahead for more information and more knowledge. Goodbye.